Hello, my friends. I hope you all are having a wonderful week wherever you are. Today, I'm going to start on this Greyscale coloring page by me. It feels so weird to say that still. This is Fierce Friends, and she was created from an original colored pencil piece that I did, and then turned into Greyscale. So this is the medium Greyscale on white paper. This is the light Greyscale on my toned Nina Desert Storm paper. And that's what I'm going to work on today. I just, I keep wanting to do more on white paper, but to be honest, there's no paper I like coloring on more than this. And especially if you're doing something where there's going to be lots of whites and stuff, which there will be in the Tiger. It's just really wonderful. So if you don't have the Nina Desert Storm, Strathmore makes a mixed media paper, and it comes in a couple different colors. It comes in gray and it comes in tan. So it's much smoother than the Strathmore toned tan. That one just has so much more tooth on it than I enjoy working on. But the Strathmore mixed media paper in tan is not as smooth as the Nina Desert Storm, but it's a nice alternative if you don't have this and don't want to get it or can't get it or whatever. So, alrighty. So the link to this page is down in the description box. You just click on the little more button or word if it doesn't open up all the way on whatever device you're looking at, and all the information about the pencils that I'm using, the paper, the where to find the images, all of that is always listed in that description box down below the videos. So before we get started, if you don't mind, please give this video a like. It makes a huge difference for me, and is a great way for you to support me and my channel, and I greatly appreciate it. So with that being said, I guess we'll get started. So I'm going to start with Peach. If you're doing this on white paper, I would start with light peach. The reason that I do peach first on the tan paper is because the light peach shows up so extremely light and bright on the tan paper that it doesn't look right. So if I put peach down first, then when I go to add any light peach, it doesn't look as obnoxious. And the light peach on white paper actually, shows up a lot darker and looks, I wouldn't say closer to peach, but it's definitely if you're doing white paper, start with light peach. I'm going to start with peach on the tan, and probably some chestnut. So these are the two colors that I have, the peach and the chestnut, and I might switch back and forth on them. We'll just have to see. So, yeah. So away we go. A lot of the times I like to lay down a layer of the peach before I even really do anything else. Although I wonder if I should put some white down first. No, we're probably okay to do peach. It's the nice thing about the tan paper is I can add white anytime I want to. Now I did print the as I said, the light version of this page. So her features and everything on this, especially on the tan paper, are very, very faint. You may have better luck if you're not totally confident in your portraits, you may have better luck printing the medium grayscale version, because your the features, in particular her nose, will show up a lot better. You could also, if you wanted to, take that take the medium image, or even the dark if you prefer, and selectively lighten the areas that you want. Don't forget that you can do that. You can take an image, stick it in that Snapseed app, and lighten anything that you want to be lighter. Customize it so that it works with your style. I'll try and remember to put a link to the video where I show you how to lighten any grayscale page if you haven't seen it already. I will put that in the description box below, and if I can think of it and I can remember, I'll put a little card up in the top. I'm still kind of learning how to do that. So, all right. Do I want to do her face all the way first? No, I think I'll do her, we'll come down and do her neck too. It's a really light layer. I don't even know if it's showing up on screen. It's showing up for me here, but my purpose right now is to just put a little buffer down there before I start really layering the colors on. All right, you know what I will go ahead and do? I was gonna do the arm after I did everything else, but I'm not sure how long it's going to take. Again, really just laying a smooth, even layer of color down. Let's put some white down. So I'm just going to ignore the little sacred geometry that she has on her forehead here. So we'll just go over that with a pen after we're finished. So if we just pretend that it's not there at all, then you can still get your smooth blends on the forehead. A little bit here. So I think I've mentioned this before to you guys, but I have learned a lot about shading and where highlights will go and things like that, just by looking at both artsy photographs, because a lot of the times the art photographs have quite a what's the word I'm trying to think of? like a lot of contrast in the lighting, so you can kind of see where the shadows tend to fall on a face. But also by looking at other artists' work, and I find a lot of pictures on Pinterest. They're not pictures that you can, copy, so to speak, but they're good pictures to learn from, and you could still use them as reference photos for like how you would like to do another picture, how you would like to put your shadows or your highlights, because you're really just learning by looking at the picture. You're not really copying another artist's work. But you can learn so much from how a skilled artist does their work. So Pinterest is a great tool for that. Because it takes practice, and I still don't. I still mess up. I still don't get things exactly right. But you don't necessarily need, the exact reference photo of something to be able to use it to learn from. So it's just what I do and how I kind of learned how things should be anatomically. So maybe that will help some of you too. I don't know. Her nose looks really funny right now because of the way that I put that white. So I'm gonna try and tone that down a little bit with the peach. It's amazing how you can change a face so much just by where you put your lights and darks. Make a nose look so different, and as a result, make the face look so different. Like this piece, I suspect will come out looking different than my original, even though I'm the same person coloring it. I think everybody, when you do a piece of art twice, it never looks exactly the same. All right, I want a skinny. I'm gonna put some of this in here to this will be her neck shadow, sort of, but I'll get that in there. Okay, let's keep going. I'm barely putting any pressure on here. I'm letting the pencil do all the work. And I'm using the flat edge of the lead, the pencil lead, to keep the softness going so I don't get any harsh pencil strokes. This is not the time that I want to keep turning my pencil so that I have a sharp edge. This is the time that I want that flat edge to really work for me. I want to work on this nose a little bit here. Kind of feel like that's almost a little bit too big as well. So I'm just gonna bring this dark color in just a little bit and let this shadow get a little bit bigger so that I don't know what that's called, but so that that part of the nose gets a little bit smaller. I should probably learn all the names for all the little parts of the face. A shadow under her eye. That shadow under her eye, you know, happens because the eyeball is round and there's an indentation right underneath here, under the eye. So that's always a little bit darker. So now I'm going to turn my pencil a little bit because I want a harsher, darker line right here. So just in turning my pencil, all of a sudden that got so much darker just from the sharper edge. Okay, let's do a little bit of under the lip. All right, we might as well come down and do the neck. This is all going to be quite dark because it's in quite a lot of shadow, and I just realized I forgot to use my white. So I'm going to do that real quick. So this is that tendon that runs on the neck. And we want it to be lighter, but we don't want it to be so bright and light that it looks unnatural. So this is, it's lighter, but it's not Yeah, we don't want it standing out too much, so don't press down too hard. Right here, this is her collarbone. We want that a little bit brighter because it'll catch a little bit of light. I think that's good. All right, back to the chestnut. A little bit of shadow right here in that little divot there. And then the light is coming from up top, so I don't want this to be, I just want a very thin amount of darkness or shadow. And then we'll do a little bit of dark in here, which would kind of be like the indentation in the middle of her, you know, like, I don't know how to describe that, where it gets dark there between her breasts. Even though we're not really having cleavage here, we'll do a little bit of dark there. And then maybe just a little bit underneath the breast, collarbone. Just a little. Okay, and then if I come up here to the hand, or the arm, we're gonna do our shadow. And I forgot to add white on this. Her face kind of looks scary right now. So this is the fat part of the hand. So that's going to have some lightness on it. So I obviously switched to white. So I'm going to put a little bit of white on the top of her fingers. Top of her knuckle. So I am using my I'm using my original image that I drew, so that I can see where all of this stuff goes, because the light grayscale on the tan paper really is light, and it's hard to see where things go. So that's where the darker versions, the medium or the dark version of the Greyscale page, will come in handy. If you still prefer to work on the really light, it's nice to have those to look at to see where where your lines are and such. And you guys are always welcome to use the finished photos that I post online as reference pictures. You don't have to color it this exact same way as I do if you don't want to, but having a reference picture to see where things go sometimes is helpful. Okay, a little bit more dark in here. I really want to work on this hand a little bit more carefully in a little bit, so I think I'll stop there on the hand. Okay, let's do some light peach, I think. Putting down that peach first makes such a difference. If you're doing your portraits and you feel like they are, the colors that you're using are keeping your portrait looking very pink, especially, you know, if you're using these Prismas and the light peach and the peach, and all of those colors do have a tendency to really make skin look quite pink. If you're not following along with me in my videos, which is totally fine, Eggshell or Beige in Prismas, anything that has a soft golden yellowy tone on top of the skin tone, if it looks too pink, is going to really help tone that pink down. So that will come maybe next. Make sure that I'm almost out of frame there. Now I would say I'm probably using a light to medium pressure. I am applying pressure to the pencil as opposed to before, where I was just letting the pencil lead glide over the page. boy, she isn't showing up. At least when I look in my viewfinder, she really looks light on the camera. She is light. She's still very light. We have a long way to go yet. I almost feel like I want some more. I kind of feel like I didn't put very much peach down on her chest yet, so I'm going to put a little bit more peach down before I add this light peach. Just a little bit more. Now I can at least see it a little better. Okay, back to light peach. I think I'm going to not keep going on the arm and the hand, because I really want to concentrate on that hand. So I think I'll just keep going with this, and then we'll work on the arm and hand afterwards. Because I want to get it right, and I want to make sure that I don't rush myself through it. Okay, let's I want to get some more contouring in here now that we've covered up what we did. So all right, so I've got Sienna Brown. I've also got the burnt ochre, but I think I'll use that to give her a little bit more of a suntan look. So let's go back again to our chestnut. A lot of the times I do like to sandwich colors between each other, so we're kind of reintroducing chestnut again. It just seems to me that I get better results if I just keep layering the colors back and forth, as opposed to just doing one color, then another color. And this seems to work best for me. Let's darken up this. In fact, all of this, I think I want darker. Let's do a little bit more here. I know it's out of frame. All I'm doing is just adding that tiny little bit right there on the edge of her shirt, at the edge of her shirt. Okay, I want to add some beige, maybe. No, you know what? I'm going to get some pink color in here. What color do I want to use for her cheeks? I kind of want her to be the whole color scheme of the original, and I'm kind of trying to replicate the original here for you guys. The whole color scheme is kind of you know, rusty, warm colors. So I don't think I didn't use pink on her cheeks. I think I want to use henna. I think I want henna. Let's try henna. Yes, I think. Okay, so the pencil that I have here is pretty sharp. So I'm going to start very, very lightly and try and develop a bit of that soft, flat edge first. Just so I'm barely barely touching the, putting pressure on this at all, just to kind of get a smooth blend going on here. I might use some Nectar as well, because this is kind of looking too much like the Chestnut. Let's see what Nectar. Nectar gives a little bit of pink. And then this will all blend out when I start adding the beige and all of that too. So I just want to get a little bit of it down there. And I have a long way to go on her nose yet. So before I move to the beige, I want to add a little bit more contouring on her nose. Because when you add your lighter colors, your darker colors do lighten up. So I want to make sure that I get these dark enough in here. Little bit of shadow under her nose, or a little bit of darkness, I guess, would be a better. It's just a little bit. And then okay, let's try and tone down some of this red and pink here a bit. This is going to need more dark first. All right, I'm going to do beige instead of eggshell and see what we get here. So the beige is starting to help smooth things out, which is nice, because right now she looks really weird. If you're using new colors or you're using white paper instead of the tan paper, just, you know, do a little area with your pencil. Just do a little test to see how you feel about it before you go over the entire thing. You might find if you're on white paper that maybe you would prefer to use eggshell instead of beige, and that's fine too. I'm probably going to either, well, I am going to either add some eggshell here or that burnt ochre to warm up the skin a little bit. I also feel like I need to bring my white in again. Okay, so this is starting to smooth things out. Don't press too hard. We don't want to lose the tooth. We just want to kind of start seeing the colors blend a little bit. That nose still needs a lot of work. And we have a long way to go. It's easy to sometimes want to rush, but you can't rush. There's so much more to do down here. Did I not? It just still looks really... All right, I just want to experiment with one thing really quick and see if it looks that pale because I didn't put down enough color, or if I just haven't gotten far enough yet. I just think that it's still so lacking in color right here. Gosh, and here I go again with the peach. But yeah, I think it needs it. Okay, back to beige. Some more something, maybe not chestnut. Let's see what happens if I bring in Sienna Brown. Very, very lightly because my pencil is pretty sharp. Okay, I like how this warms up the skin. So I will, since I started here on the chest, I'll go ahead and add some, but I'm going to bring quite a bit of this, I think, up into the face. kind of staying away from the center of the chest because I think that would be where the most light would be hitting. So I want that to be a little bit brighter than everything else. To find that nice flat edge. Again, anytime you're trying to get an even soft color on, you always want to work with that flat edge on the pencil. That will really keep those sharp lines and the sharp edges down. It will help a lot. Okay, let's do some of that color up here. She really needs it. Usually I use burnt ochre for this, but the Sienna Brown seems to be working really well. I think we still need some eggshell. She still looks really pink. And of course our purples. Got to add those purples. And I want to get her freckles in soon too. I'm going to put a little bit of white on the top of her lips so that I can see it better. Well, while I have it in my hand, I'm going to add a little bit more white here. Just want to make sure that I'm keeping those highlights bright. Top of her cheeks. Let's do some purple. So I've got black grape and gray lavender. This is my my go-to skin combination as far as colors go. But you can get so many different skin colors from these pencils, depending on both the order that you use them, but also the amount that you use them. For a long time, I was always worried, like, oh, I need to come up with like all these different skin tone combos so that my skin doesn't always look the same. But I don't feel like my skin always looks the same. I think that there's always a little bit of a variation even when I use the same colors, because I never use the colors exactly the same on any piece. Sometimes there's a little more of one, a little less of another, and so those make a big difference. And it's funny, already just adding in this black grape, I think she's already looking so much better. I really, I really like it. I think I might try some black raspberry this time too. Kind of at an awkward angle here. Just really lightly right there. Let's do some on the nose. Right now she looks like she has a beard because of the texture of the paper. Under her nose. All right. I'm debating on grade lavender now or after I use the eggshell. I think I'll do it now. Yeah, you know, I don't even know if I need it. I think the black grape did a pretty good job. So I'm gonna move on to eggshell. Try and get myself a flat edge. I might actually create, just take a little piece of paper, just rub it a little bit so I get a good flat edge there. I'm not going to go too far up into the purple. I think I'll use a blender to blend that because I don't want to lighten that color up too much, which the eggshell is going to lighten it if I do that too. This worked okay though, blending it here. We're going to have to add freckles next or else we're going to run out of We might not run out of tooth, but I want to make sure that they show up. And I want to do a layer of freckles before we blend, and then more freckles after, so that they kind of recede into the skin and they don't all sit on the surface. Because the freckles would be different degrees of lightness, because they're all at different depths within the skin itself. And if you only ever just put them on the top, then they don't look quite as natural. Okay, we'll do a little bit of this eggshell. How low am I? Let's get this up. It might be looking quite bright because of the way that I have my light. And I'm missing my light. I just realized I broke my light. I had two lights with different color warmths. There's a word for that I can't think of at this very moment. And using them both together really helps to get a good representation of what the page actually looks like. And I broke a bulb. Okay, I can't see what I'm doing here, so sorry, I have to put that light back on there. I don't know what that looks like. I hope it looks okay. Okay, let's do some freckles, and then we'll blend. All right, I'm going to use Sienna Brown for the freckles. So this is going to be the first set of freckles that we add. You want some to be a little bit bigger, some to be just little teeny tiny dots. And you want to make sure that they're not polka dotty looking. So you really want to try and do as random as possible, to where some freckles are grouped closely together, and then you might have some that are further apart. All right, we're going to start there. I'll start there. Let me get this blended out and see how I feel about things. One thing I want to do is get a slightly sharper line going under here. I want to make sure that I have plenty of shading underneath that line, or else it'll look totally weird. But her jaw wasn't looking smooth enough for me. All right, I have a white pencil somewhere. I sat down and now I can't find it. Really? Why does that always happens to me? Okay. Good thing I have more white pencils. I'm just gonna put a little bit of white. Again, this should be subtle because it's a light reflection. So we don't want it to be too bright. All right, let's blend. And then we'll decide what to do. freckles get soft. I'm not super happy with the shape yet of her nose. I think I need to add some freckles onto her chest. Okay, so it's not bad. It's just not quite there yet. So let's add some freckles on her chest. Doing her eyes and lips will make a big difference. If you guys have followed me for a while, you know sometimes I do like to just stop and do those, and then that helps me determine whether it needs more work on the skin or not. She still needs something. She still needs some stuff. It's funny, I didn't realize how much I missed that light when I started out until I realized it was missing my light. And now it's like, oh, I really need my light. It's dark. It's dark here. Okay, this is peach, just adding a little bit more color again. Okay. I'm going to use burnt ochre. Let's see what this does, because right now I'm still not happy with the tone. It's like when you add this color, all of a sudden she gets a nice suntan. Which I feel like she would have if she was living out in the jungle with her tiger friend. Do a little bit of that on her chest. Thinking about light umber Let's see what that, just giving her a couple of different colored. I don't know if I love it or not. I think I like the Sienna Brown better. So, oh, you know what? What do I? Oh, thinking. Just bear with me for a second while I kind of decide what I want to do. Light umber, if I use that, it's not quite as red. It's kind of a yellowy, I don't know, I might not like that. Don't love that. All right, let's put a little bit of grade lavender. So forget the light umber. I don't like it. Although it did add a nice contour right there. Okay. All right, you know, I'm not totally unhappy. I just want to darken up that nose a little bit more. It's just not quite. Let's put some, do I want Nectar or do I want to break out my pink? You know what I really want is Luminance Anthro Pink. Oh, you guys. So this is a case where if I was just coloring a page, I would totally break out another brand of pencil. If I couldn't find the color that I wanted in my, you know, Prismas or whatever that I was using. This is one of those cases. The Anthro Pink is like this lovely orangey pink. If you don't have it, excuse me, if you don't have it, you can use a little bit of mineral orange and a little bit of blush pink. In fact, let's just, I probably should have tried to do that. Let's see what happens if we add a little bit of mineral orange. The mineral orange and the blush pink came from my color conversion chart for Luminance to Prismas, or Prismas to Luminance. And mineral orange and blush pink work pretty well to get me the color that I want. So if you don't have the Anthro Pink from Luminance, I would use that color combo. But that just pinked things up just enough. The pinks in Prisma all feel a little bit too baby pink to me. I don't know why. Sometimes I just start feeling like adding pink. Even though I said, if the skin looks too pink, add yellow. But there's something about this Anthro Pink that that I really like. So I'm okay. I'm good with that. All right, a little bit more white before I add the last of the freckles. And then we'll do her, I think we'll have time to do her hand, and we'll be at about No, we won't. We're not going to have time. I want to get her face done. All right, a little bit of highlight on her nose. And let's soften that. I want to soften that highlight a little bit. So let's see, let's bring it out just a touch. On noses, you want to try really hard to not have any harsh lines unless you're doing a fancy lighting trick where your light is producing really harsh lines. You want to always try and have a super smooth blend from dark to light and back to dark again, so that you can create a rounded nose. When those lines are too sharp, it tends to take away the illusion of the curve that you want in the nose. I still am having a hard time for some reason getting this quite dark enough. I really want something's not quite right there. Let's get the dark in. Sometimes that helps a lot, the little nostril color. Okay. I'm feeling pretty happy with this, and I'll know better after I get the lips and eyes done. So I'm going to just add a few more freckles. Let's do the eyes. Or should we do the lips? Let's do the lips first. So Nectar. Nectar's always my go-to color to start with. And then all the other colors go on top, and they completely change the Nectar look. It's almost like it's the natural lip tone, and then the other colors on top become the lipstick. All right, I'm going to use Mahogany Red. Hope I didn't come out too far on that. That's another thing that just amazes me at how drastically you can change the look of a face by making the lip, you know, slightly different than... I've done that so many times. Couldn't figure out why it looked different, and then it was like, oh, well, because the lip is just that slightly little bit wider than it should be, or yeah, I could tell that there's going to be something weird happening here, so I need to try and stay in control of that. So this is my black. I'm going to work slowly so that I can fix things if I don't like it. Actually, I don't. This looks a little bit different than my original, but I kind of, I'm liking the shape of her lips right now. So that's okay. I'll let that go. Let's do some color down here. Blend that up into the... I'm just barely touching the paper. I'm really using a light hand here. I'm pretty happy with that. I wanna be careful. All right, let's add a little bit more of this. I might want to add some, maybe some yellow. I don't want her lips to be too red. I want to still kind of keep that orangey, corally look. This is Eggshell, but it might not be yellow enough. Well, let's just try some mineral orange. Let's see what that does. Well, that takes it to a nice corally color, doesn't it? There we go. A little bit of mineral orange, just enough to take the harsh, the pink. All right, let's add some just a little bit of black. I almost, let's bring this out just a little bit more. That's better. It kind of gives her a little smirk. Actually, let's give her a little shine. I know I take a long time to do stuff. All right, we're gonna do the eyes now. Okay, so we need like a light, like a cool gray. And so we want to do that on the whites of her eyes. No white. Cool gray. So this is cool gray 20%. You could use probably warm gray as well. Okay, let's use Nectar or Anthro Pink. Let's just use Nectar. That works out just fine. Nectar. Let's put a little bit of Mahogany Red right there. Right there. Okay, I'm going to use Jade Green for her eyes. I'm going to put a highlight in first. Okay, then I'm going to use my black, try and get that pupil looking correct. I don't want her looking like a snake. But I want the white, I want the highlight to be bright, so trying to, that works, that's not bad. Okay, let's do 70, do I want 70% or 90%? Let's try 70% first. That's gonna go around the outside edge of the eye. That might not be dark enough. All right, let's try 90. 90% cool gray. There we go. All right, let's take the 70% cool gray and get that shadow going that would be there underneath her eyelid. Take a nice sharp black. Her eyelashes are pretty established here on the page, so I don't really have to do much. Unless I want to make a few longer. Okay. I'm soaking it in for a minute to see if I like how she looks. Her ear might need a little bit of color. Just darken that up a little bit. We're going to put hair over the top of it a bit, so I think it's okay. I'm not sure if I love her lip. I wanna. I'm looking for something to shadow. Let's do a little shadow there. Put a little bit of white. I think I want to thin her face down. I think it still needs to be darker right here. But I'm not sure what I want to use for that. So I gotta be careful not to make it look too brown. I just want to darken it, but I don't want it to be dark, so to speak. So of course there's the chestnut that we've been using. We could try some of that. Let's try a little bit of black grape. Find that flat edge. Let's do a little bit here. And okay, so this is going to be another case of me grabbing. I shouldn't, but I'm gonna. What would I use if I was just using Prismacolors? I'd probably just blend it out with a colorless blender if I was just using Prismacolors. But I'm going to pull out my Luminance Dark Flesh. This is Dark Flesh 5%. And I'm going to blend with this. I just really, Luminance has some excellent skin toned pencils. All of the dark fleshes are wonderful. They're now called something else. What are they called? Warm Earth. And I use those for, you know, obviously for light skin tones too, for shadows and contouring. Yeah, if you don't want to invest in a full set of Luminance, I totally get it, that they're definitely pricey. But if you can invest in like just the dark fleshes, the I don't know if you need both 5 and 40. You could probably get away with one or the other, because to me they're not that far apart. But they're really wonderful pencils for contouring. I really like them. And what's nice is that they're not as red, you know, as like the Chestnut and the, but they're just a beautiful pencil. All right. So we definitely gave her a chubby cheek, but I'm actually okay with that. If I wanted to thin her out, let's just see. Like, let's say you wanted to thin her out a little bit. I would take maybe my Chestnut, since that's what's... And we could just... That's actually... I actually like that. That's actually better. Blend that a little bit. So now I've taken away that fat cheek just in doing that, which I like a lot better. It was not. Let me blend that. That looks much better. So we've just changed her jawline a little bit so that she's got those nice bones in her jaw, but she doesn't look like she has a fat face anymore, which I kind of felt like she did. So yeah, I think she's okay. You know how I am. I'll probably keep working on her a little bit, maybe. Actually, what I'll do is on the next one, we'll work on her hand, and maybe I'll work on her face a little bit more. I kind of want, it works best to work back to front, so I'm wondering if maybe I should do the background next. The background and the silhouette of the palm leaves. If I do that next, and her hand, then we could probably do her hair. And I can do everything on her hair except for this area here, because we want to get the tiger in before we do this section of hair. So it might be a little bit like out of typical order, but I think that will be the best thing to do. We still have to do the shirt, and there's a lot to do on this page, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. But I'll know before I come back and see you next time. So until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Happy coloring. Bye. Okay, guys, really quick. I know I said goodbye, but in looking at her and looking at the photo and all of that, I just decided that she was way too tan for me. I liked the tan look, but it was just a little bit too much. Her skin was just a little bit too dark for me, and I couldn't stand to wait until the next video. So I'm actually going to do exactly what I'm doing right now, which is add some white all over her. And I actually realized I covered up her little fun white dots above her eyebrows. Covered those right up and never put them back. So all I'm doing now is toning down that really quite dark tan color with some white. Really, I shouldn't be using such a sharp pencil. So I turn my pencil around and I have a little bit more of a dull edge here, which is better. So I'm just gonna, it's almost like if you were gonna come in and blend, you know, with your white, how it always kind of lightens everything up a little bit. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm kind of blending with my white, because she was just a little too dark for what I really wanted. And she's already looking better. So yay, I feel better. I feel better about her now. So we'll keep going on the next one, but I just really felt like I needed to take down some of that tan look that I gave her. Gave her a little bit too much. So now she's a little softer. So I like that better. So alrighty, I'll see you on the next video. Bye.